Have you ever wondered why Amazon's product pages look the way that they do? They seem messy and over the top. So why do they use this page design? Well, with their decades worth of data, they happen to know a thing or two about e-commerce and what leads to better conversions. And the same is true for the likes of eBay, Walmart, and Etsy. So to make sure your product pages on WooCommerce have a chance of converting as well as they do, we need to learn from them and replicate what's working. After analyzing top performing e-commerce sites and scouring the web for expert sources, I've narrowed it down to just 7 key elements which you could implement on your own site in a single afternoon. Universally agreed upon by every source I could find is the need for high quality images and visuals. Now, I know that may sound obvious, so let me clarify things with a few details. Shots should be big and clear, and you need to include multiple supporting angles. Try to get close-up shots and shots of the product in a real-life setting. And don't forget to include this ability to zoom in on a product on your product page. 360 images and video are optional, but they also come highly recommended. If you have product variations, it's even better if you can link different images to those variations. Just note that you may require a plugin to do this, such as WooCommerce Product Options, for example. And while you should use high quality shots, the file size and format should still be optimized to improve loading times. You could use WebP instead of PNG, for example. Product descriptions are another item that you really can't go without, though here are a few things to keep in mind. On the desktop version, have a short description above the fold near the other product information. And then if you have a longer description, it can live further down the page or on a dedicated product tab like this one. By the way, if you want to modify these product tabs, there's actually a free plugin for Barn 2 called WooCommerce Product Tabs, and you can use it to add new ones or modify the existing tabs. I'll leave a link in the description below in case you're interested. Remember to keep your descriptions crisp and informative. Obviously, there's some aspects of SEO, which I'm not going to touch on in this video. That depends on your own website and how you're optimizing it for search engines, etc. The main focus is to provide complete product information. Now, I'll admit the example I'm showing here is probably just a little bit too brief, so I would normally have to expand on this if it were a real product I was trying to sell. Now, critical to any site's conversion rate is having a clear call to action button. For most e-commerce sites, this is the Add to Cart button on the product pages. Make sure to utilize design techniques such as color and spacing to make it stand out. And make sure it's visible above the fold on desktop. On mobile, this is optional, but it's still not a bad idea. You can see on this example page, I just have 2 options, Add to Basket, and this Google Pay option, which is added by a plugin that I have. Social proof is the next must-have item, and it's usually in the form of star ratings and reviews. If you can, add ratings to the listing in the same area as the other key product information. If you have reviews, I recommend using the dedicated product tab and adding them here next to the star ratings. If you don't have any reviews, that's okay, but try to find another way to build trust. Maybe write something else about the product, like how popular it is, or how many you've sold in a given time period. Other ideas for social proof could include trust badges, testimonials, and user-generated content. Another universally agreed upon tip is to add related products, which you can then cross-sell. Now, WooCommerce actually has a built-in feature for this, which you can use to increase your average order values. You just come down here to the product data section, click on linked products, and add items either as upsells or cross-sells. When you come to the product page and scroll down, it looks like this. You may also like and related products. Now, if you wanted to take it a step further, our product options plugin that I mentioned earlier allows you to list products as options on product pages. But I'd use this for things that are often sold together, like a phone and a phone case. Just be careful not to distract too much from the main product you're selling on this page. In most cases, it's better to have these recommendations further down or perhaps just above the fold. On this example page, there's also a recommended item over here on the right, which I believe is added by the theme, so it just depends on what theme you're running. Now, quick quiz for you. Do you know the main reason why customers abandon their cart? It's because of unexpected fees which are added to the total price somewhere in the checkout phase, which they weren't expecting. And this is usually because of shipping. It's actually perfectly fine to charge for shipping. This is well understood by customers. But what isn't fine is adding the shipping charge at the last stage of the checkout process. Try to inform customers about shipping as early as possible to avoid these sorts of abandonments happening at the last step. So to be more specific, try to include shipping policies, estimated delivery dates, and return policies, such as a 30-day money-back guarantee, for example, on your product page if you can. Or at least create a link to these details, which can be further down in these product tabs. Now, how you do this will depend a lot on which plugins you're using for calculating shipping. In my case, I'm using a specific plugin called WooCommerce Shipping Calculator, which I've also linked below in the description. But in general, if you have the ability to add this information, do so at the earliest possible step, ideally on the product page itself. The seventh and final tip I have for you is to create a sense of urgency. Now, this could include discount deadlines, stock meters, and limited time offers. Now, please don't overdo this, as it can ruin your trustworthiness if you are clearly playing tricks on people. But a subtle nudge will help to increase conversions using these well-known psychological triggers. Now, if you've already implemented these 7 elements on your product pages, trust me, you are well on your way to success. And for those of you who are still watching, I have a few bonus tips for you. The first tip is to ease navigation between your pages by using these sorts of breadcrumbs or a horizontal category menu to keep customers oriented as they navigate your website. And my second tip is to add more engaging product options instead of plain variations. Now, normally WooCommerce variations are displayed as drop-down lists, which is anything but ideal when you want to display colors or create unique customer input fields, like a price calculator or a file upload option. Our WooCommerce Product Options plugin provides 16 different option types, which can be used to create pages like these, where customers can select exactly what they need and buy upgrades all within a single product page. To learn more about the plugin and how to set up new product options in your site, check out this video next. Or click on this link to try a demo of the plugin for yourself. And of course, thanks for watching.